back to Vampy Vegs, HELLoweenathon, episode 5 or 6 or 7, whatever it is. I'll start getting lost in the madness in the ocean of this whole thing soon, if not later, if not already now. I'm already starting to feel fucking punchy. I'm already starting to feel like, what am I doing here, what am I doing here? It's just what happens when you just watch non-stop horror. If that's all you're putting your brain through and you're not doing anything else, especially on your days off, like you're just live, eat, breathe, sleep. Gore. It's fantastic. I love it. Love the season. So, the next film that I watched was a film called Suicide Club, which was one that was kind of recommended through a lot of like J-lists, like J-horror. So, and I knew like just by the title, like I figured what it is it's like, you know, a bunch of teenage Japanese girls, insert blah blah blah, they're in a group, they have to kill each other, or they all start dying, and then like, you know, the cops show up and they're like, what's up with this? And there's like a ghost one, and you know, she needs to be avenged or something, and there's a website, whatever. It's probably something just like that. I don't know what it is really, but you know, you know enough about the Japanese people and their horror culture, and their horticulture and their plants and shit. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm a video man-ist. I'm a videoist. I'm an entertainist. Yeah, bro, high five. So I was like, all right, and I knew it was gonna be foreign, so I pressed play, and I think I might have rented it. I don't know. I pressed play, and it's foreign, but it's like British. I was like, oh, okay, and it's real low budget. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it's gonna be one of these, and I keep watching it, waiting, and like the idea is that like there's a website, but there's a chick who's like an otaku. So like, but she's not, because she's British, so she can't call herself that. So she just, you know, is. I guess otaku's an anime fan. This chick just is just fucking shut in, you know. Just something that happens on Japanese culture too, and it happens here, and apparently also in Britain or England or whatever the fuck it's called. Fucking the people that are just like us, but they're not quite right, and so we need to build a wall. And so, like, they're like, do you want to kill yourself? She's like, I want to kill myself. And then she's like, okay. And she sees these videos of these people and they're killing themselves. And she's like, boy, I don't want that. And then they're like, we're going to do it. She's like, uh-oh. And they're like, unless you put in somebody's name. It's like Death Note. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she puts in somebody's name. And then they're like, okay, we're going to kill this asshole who stole your phone, or this asshole who did this, that, or the other. And then she meets a guy on a dating website, and then he's like, hey, life's not so bad. She's like, I guess it's not. And then, like, the day that she decides to do that is the day that they're like, no more, no, we're coming to get you now. And then she becomes, I'm going to spoil it for you because don't watch this movie. And then she becomes the head of the Suicide Club. It's not the movie that I thought I was I was like, at some point I was like, man, this cannot be right. Right at the end, in fact, and I was like, yeah, I bet this is another movie that's also called Suicide Club. But I stuck with it. Because you know what? Sometimes you gotta watch a real piece of shit to appreciate other pieces of shit and why they're shitty in a good way, and then to just appreciate better films. You can't just watch good shit all the time, because then you're jaded towards it. You know, but I watched a movie like this, I was like, okay, this movie cost. And the movie looked like it came out after the quarantine. Like, it was shot all in one room, mostly by one character, one actress on the screen, and then, like, who she's talking to is on webcam. So it was like a pre-quarantine movie. What the fuck else was I watching? There's that show now on Amazon with Rainn Wilson, about the comic books. There's a comic book, and then there's, like, there's this group of comic book nerds, and this comic book has predicted the future pandemics. And then it's about to predict the next one, and they're trying to get this issue of it or something. I watched it, and it was completely disappointing. Yeah, who the fuck wants to watch anything about a pandemic right now? That's not aptly timed at all. So, anyways, the Suicide Club, ooh, that's a 2. It was a plot. It was a story. It was deeper than New Mutants. It does get a lower score though, because really nothing in this film nothing happens at all. But you know, not bad for like an indie, a real indie movie. So would I recommend it? No. I will be watching Suicide Club, the actual Japanese one here in the next few days, and then next up is Eden Lake, which I've actually already watched. That video will be coming out later, but refreshing. It was actually one of the best films I've seen so far.